Today we continue with our class, one second, what is the class? Hilchot Talmud Torah. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. And the topic is purpose of this volume. There are many factors which can cause a person to speak Lashon Hara. The three primary factors are A. Lack of awareness of that a Jew is and is not permitted to say. The Jew is and is not permitted to say. So a person does not know the laws of Lashon Hara. It is in response to this that we have compiled Sefer Chofetz Chaim, which is a code of laws of proper speech. So if you did not know, guess what? We have a book. So why you did not read the book, basically. Number two, Satan's powerful efforts in this area, as he seeks to indict us above and cause our prayers to be rejected, as stated in the Holy Torah, which will be cited forthcoming chapter. Right, so Zohar says with these impure lips, you're going to praise HaShem, or you ask any favors. HaShem said, who needs you? Right, so that's one more reason not to speak Lashon Hara. And number three, ignorance of the methods through which one can succeed in avoiding the urge to gossip. As Scripture states, for which strategies shall you wage a war for yourself? Mishle 24:6. So as we said many times, we have to think all of the situation. I'm just coming to number three. Like if you know that that's what it's going to be, if you're going to go to that place, so don't go to that place. So don't tempt yourself. Like so there are people, and I know personally of the people, and they like to ask questions. And on one hand, if you just met them, or like if you know them only for a short while, you think that they're caring people and they just very genuine and they want to know and they want to help you and they care about you, but it has nothing to do with the truth, unfortunately. Those are people who try to extract information from you to share it among others. Like, that's crazy. So stay away from these people. Even if you cannot, for example, I have to meet this person once a week for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So I just ignore him. Like, not ignore, but very politely, but I would deflect the question. Whatever he said, I just like answer something else completely. Because I know whatever I said, like maybe not everybody, but some certain people would know for sure. Okay, so continue. It is in response to the second and third factors that we have authored the book of Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. Okay. A compilation of Aggadic teaching. So that's what we're learning today. Compilation of Aggadic teaching from the Talmud. So the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, it's like dry Halachah, right? Do this, don't do that. And Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, it's like a backup in some sense to what we say. Like where in the Torah we will find the support to what we say, even though Chofetz Chaim provides, but still here he elaborates from the story of a Talmud, from Medrash, and written Torah, of course. Okay. It is a compilation of Aggadic teachings from a Talmud, Medrash, and Holy Torah, which speaks of a great reward in this world and the next for a guarding one's tongue, and of retribution that can result from a terrible sin of speaking Lashon Hara. So guarding one's tongue, it's not only in the next world, in this world also. This world, and if you saw Rabbi Reuven Shlita, I don't know, he speaks about maybe 5 minutes. I didn't watch the whole movie yet. We didn't finish watching, but we did 3/4 probably of it. Right? He speaks maybe 5 or 10 minutes about this terrible sin, punishment for it. Right? We have also labored with the help of HaShem to compile from the thoughts of our sages many methods and suggestions for how to escape the snare of the sin of Lashon Hara. So I mean, as as we said in what is number 2, that the Satan is very powerful. So don't think that you're going to like defeat him easily. No, he's going to like he's very like shrewd, very powerful. So we have to like devise the plan not to be there, or like not to be in that situation, basically. And see it forthcoming when somebody's trying to provoke you. So that's there are some people who like to provoke people, right? They like when some other people get angry, stuff like that. It is our hope that this will inspire and aid the reader to overcome his inclination to speak the forbidden, so that he can develop the precious sterling quality of Shmiras Haloshon. So Shmiras Haloshon means guarding one's speech. Because this present work contains many topics that are vital interest, it is therefore exceedingly precious to me. Therefore, I have given the title Shmiras Haloshon. Okay, Shmiras Haloshon, based upon the verse, one who guards his mouth and tongue guards his soul from tribulation. So it's from Mishle 21:35. Okay. So there's one commentary. So it says, though this compilation of Aggadic teachings and insights is actually another section of Chofetz Chaim, the author gave a title of its own. Okay. So I mean, it's like separate book. If you're going to buy in a store, let's say in English, those are 2 separate books for sure. Okay, so we stop here. So we continue with Hilchot Talmud Torah, and we arrived to I think it's the longest halacha in ever from what we learn. I don't like the longest, with explanation and everything. So I think we're going to do it in parts. It does not make sense to read all of it because it's too long. So we're going to read the introduction first, do the commentary, explanation, then go in case by case. Okay, so let's see. So now we're talking on the ban of ostracism. Right, then and we said what scholar who can put whom on this ban, right? And we said a scholar can put another simple person. He does not need to go to court, and all of the students should abide by it, they hold by it, they should hold by the ban. But the Nasi, the prince, the most important Jewish authority, so he's not obligated. Right, and we were discussing all of this combination: who is obligated, who is not obligated. Okay, okay. So now we're going into details. What is this ban, and what should we do, and who is getting under this ban? Right? How to get in this like blacklist, I would say. Right? Not favorable list for sure. Okay, so let's see. Number 14. When does the above apply? When the ban was imposed because a person acted disrespectfully to a Torah scholar. However, a person who was placed under the ban of ostracism for another reason, for which such a ban may be declared, even if the ban was declared by a person of the lowest stature in Israel, the Nasi and all Jews are obligated to abide by the terms of the ban. This until he repents for the matter for which the ban was imposed, and the ban is lifted. Okay, so so now we're going to expound. Until now, all of this discussion, as we can see from the topic, the Hilchot Talmud Torah, the laws of studying of Torah. Like it was only what concern teachers and students and like approaches, how we teach students, like other topics, right? But now we said so Rambam is going to explain the ban of. So far we explained only one ban, that concern these Torah scholars, and it's all the variations who is obligated to hold bait, who is not obligated to hold bait, and we said from this city, from that city. But here it's very interesting. We said there are other reasons to be placed on a ban, and then everybody must abide by it, right? Everybody. So even as the lowest person, I guess maybe a slave or something. Slave, maybe not. So slave, I would say maybe Jewish slave, right? So he pronounced a ban against somebody else. So the whole nation should hold by it. Okay. So let's do this piece from the beginning with commentaries. So it says, when does above apply? Commentary. Leniency that frees certain people from abiding by requirements of the ban of the ostracism. So as we said before, it was based on who is obligated to honor who, right? For example, we said if a student announces a ban against somebody, against another student, let's say, for whatever, for a right reason, so the teacher is not obligated to abide by it. Okay, because he's not, I mean, in some sense he's obligated to honor his student, as we learn in different halachah. Yeah, you have to be very polite, very cordial with the student, right? But he's not obligated to respect him, right? To that extent. When the ban, so when does above apply? When the ban was imposed because of the person's acted disrespectfully to a Torah scholar. Disrespectfully, commentary. The Hagahot Maimonid notes that the ban can be imposed only because of disrespectful behavior. However, this punishment may not be administered for failing to honor the scholar. So, meaning, if somebody did not get up, right, in the presence of the scholar, so the scholar was passing by, person did not want to get up, for whatever it is, he did not. So we cannot put him on ban. But if he spoke bad about this scholar or insulting in public, yeah, that's a different story. So that's when we pronounce the ban. Okay, disrespectfully to Torah scholars. Commentary on scholar. Many commentaries have noted the difficulty in Rambam's words. This statement implies that there is a certain leniency with regard to the ban imposed on the embarrassment of Torah scholars. Certain leniency with regard to a ban imposed because of the embarrassment of a Torah scholar. Okay. However, the first 24 reasons, the Rambam lists for imposing a ban of ostracism that must be absorbed by every Jew, disgracing a Torah scholar, implying that it is the most severe. Right, so we're going to go into the list of 24, and this is going to be the first one. Okay. Among the resolutions of the difficulty offered is that there is a difference between a ban imposed by a court according to Torah law and a ban issued by a scholar individually to protect his own honor, right? So, okay, so we got it. Of course, we respect the Torah scholar, but when somebody is offended and if he's not of very, very high level, so we cannot expect him to be objective 100%. But the court, yes. So that's what they explain is the difference. Okay, no problem. Continue. However, a person who was placed under the ban of ostracism for another reason, for such a ban may be declared, even if the ban was declared by a person of the lowest stature in Israel. The Nasi and all Jews are obligated to abide by the terms of the ban. Okay, right? Until, so all of these bans are conditional, right? Until he repents for the matter for which the ban was imposed. So commentary. Moed Katan, so Talmud 17a, relates that Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi made tzor and declared a ban of ostracism on one person, on a person, and the entire Jewish people observed the ban for 3 days. So it's very interesting if you read the story, the Talmud of this maidservant of the Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the Rabbi. She was an amazing person. So I remember in one place, it's in Talmud Megillah, right? The Talmud Megillah. So the sages did not know the meaning of the words. So how did they learn the meaning of the words? Great sages, not the students, right? So they went to Rabbi's house. He was busy, and they asked the maidservant and said, "Guess what? His maidservant knew the words that they came to ask Rabbi." She's a very interesting character. Okay. So we said he's put on ban until he repents for the matter for which the ban was imposed, and the ban is lifted. So the ban must be declared by a court. So we're going to see, and must be lifted also by a court. So meaning that they would need to verify that he actually rectified his behavior. Okay, so now we're going to go. I'm not going to read the whole list because it's too much. So we're going to go one by one and explain. A ban of ostracism is imposed upon a person, either man or a woman, for the following 24 reasons. Man or a woman, let's see commentary. Most of the instances there is Talmudic mention of a ban of ostracism concern men. However, a number of cases, see Rosh Hashanah 31b, Moed Katan 16b, Nadarim 7b, also involve women. Okay, so I guess the way I remember, it's from because of the immodesty, immodest behavior, or something like that. So for 24 following reasons. So let's see commentary. In Brachas 19a, so it's also Talmud, mentioned that this is the number of reasons for which a person can be placed under the ban, 24. But explained only several of these 24 reasons. Very interesting. A significant number of the reasons are also mentioned in Yerushalayim Talmud, Moed Katan 3.1. However, the majority of the reasons mentioned by Rambam below were gathered by him from many different passages throughout the Talmud. So, for me, it's like it's mind-blowing how it was such a living person as Rambam, who knew all of the texts by heart and who could compare all of them and derive Halachah. Right? So we try to remember what was said in two different books, and sometimes it's hard, but he knew all of them by heart. Continue. So we start with list A, a person who disgraces a scholar even after his passing. So that's actually what we learned before, but let's see. Brachas 19a relates that the ban was imposed on a person who disgraced the scholars Shmaya and Naftalion even after their passing. So these Shmaya and Naftalion were the greatest in the nation of Israel. Both of them were converts, and some clowns, even when they were alive, and one of these clowns was a Kohen Gadol, who was ignoramus, and he made the fun of Shmaya and Naftalion and all of their students that follow, right? He called them idol worshippers. And they answer him. I don't exactly remember that answer, like word to word, but something like you descend of Aaron. Like Aaron would pursue peace. Why you creating strifes? You understand? That's two greatest people. Okay, continue. B, a person who embarrasses messengers of a court. Commentary. Kiddushin 70b relates a Rav would impose a ban of ostracism for this reason. So basically, so one side comes to a Beis Din, right, and said, I have a case against who? Against such and such. So they dispatch a messenger to invite that person to court, right? And this person's like embarrassed the messenger of the court. So I don't want to deal with you. and embarrassed, basically embarrassed. So we have to respect. So this messenger did not come to us just because he had nothing else to do, right? He's representative of the court. So when a person embarrasses him, he embarrasses actually the Jewish court, right? We put him on a ban until he comes. So C, right? Meaning number 3, a person who calls a Kalik a slave. So let's see. Okay, so it says Kiddushin 21:8. Okay, not good to call somebody a slave. Next one, D, a person who ordered to appear in before court at specified time and did not come. Commentary C Bava Kama 112b, and also Silchas Sanhedrin. Okay, so we say and he did not have explanation. He just ignored. So people who think that something is important in their life, they're not late. I know a person who said, I'm not organized, I'm so late, but I told him, look, have you been late ever to a job interview? And he changed many jobs. He said, never. Guess what? Never. He would come, make sure he would get up at 4 in the morning, probably, right? To make sure that he would come there by 9, even it's only 1 hour drive. Right, so that person who did not come to court, so it's most probably he ignored it. Next one, E, a person who treats even one point of rabbinic law with disrespect. Needless to say, this applies regarding the matters of scriptural law. So that's okay. So let's read the commentary, and we're going to explain. Guys, it's very serious topic. Maybe all of this that we said before that does not apply to us too much, or we don't have encounter with these people. But this one is the most common. So one more time, a person who treats even one point of rabbinic law with disrespect. 108. Commentary. Iduyot 5:6 relates Rabbi Leib Eliezer by Hanoch, who placed under the ban for raising difficulty regarding the practice of washing one's hands, a rabbinic ordinance. Right, so it's very interesting. So we have seven rabbinical laws, right? 613 is biblical and 7 rabbinical. So one of the rabbinical is to wash our hands before eating bread. So this rabbi, he was a very great rabbi. Greatest rabbi, and he said maybe we should not wash our hands. It's very interesting, right? So for this, since it was accepted by majority, and it is accepted as a law. That's it. So after law was passed by majority, everybody must accept it. There is no second opinion. There is no you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to practice in my family. I'm going to do my way. There's no such a thing in Judaism. So he was placed on this law, on this ban, and we know many people who would go like now forget about the rabbinical, but against the biblical. So technically, like for example, somebody said that some mitzvahs do not apply today. So the clowns would say we are weak this generation, and that's why we don't do many things. And he would even say, what can we do? We're such a lower generation, but that's not what Torah says. Rambam said in his 13th principle of Judaism that one of the things, right, that Torah was given forever and ever, and that's not going to change. So Rambam does not specify that, but for the generation in which the clown comes and said that we're a low generation, there is an exception. No, does not say so. All of these people who said that this does not apply, that does not apply, and we're talking about they deny biblical, right? Or for example, man who shaves with a razor, he's in that category. Or I had a guy like my former neighbor, right? So he started losing his hair, so he did not want to wear the kippah because he was a lawyer, Well, guess what? The lawyer's like, okay, but I was so he was shaving his heads with a razor. So I told him a few times. I mean, you understand when it's was shaved with a razor and when with like a trimmer or something. So I told him, you cannot do that. You cut all of these things. You cannot cut. But of course he ignored. So just for this shaving, so you would say it's private. His private business. No, it's not private. Right, so he would be put on this ban. Okay, he moved out, Baruch HaShem. So needless to say that this applies regarding the matter of scriptural law. Commentary. The case of Mishnah notes that Rambam uses this expression, treats with disrespect. Okay. If person transgresses a command, he is punished by other means. However, ostracism is imposed for causing others to view Torah rabbinic law disparagingly. Right, so that's two separate things. Right, so he treats with disrespect. Okay, so that's a big topic. So many people actually in this category, knowingly or unknowingly, right? When they go against any rabbinic law, whatever rabbis say, they go against. That's in that category. Or if another one, so for example, a woman does not want to cover her hair, so she automatically in this category, right? Because that's a Jewish halachah where a married woman must cover her hair. Okay. So next one, F. A person who refuses to comply with a decision rendered by a court placed under the ban until he complies. So that's also very common. So two people went to a court. Let's say it was business litigation, and both of them, of course, both of them went to court because both of them thought that they're going to win. Right? That's the only explanation. Or maybe one was forced, whatever. So one, let's say one was sure that he's going to win, and he lost. And now he said, "No, I'm not going to comply." Right? I want to take you to a non-Jewish court now, right? To Goyish court. That's a problem. So we put it on ban of Ostracism. 110. Commentary. Baba Kama 113a. Serves as a source for this law. So you see, Rambam took from all of these different cases. It's unbelievable. Note the slight difference between the Rambam statement here and those in Hilchot and Hadrin, that place. Okay, no problem. Continue. Next one, G. A person who possesses an entity that can cause damage. For example, a dangerous dog or a faulty ladder is placed under the ban until he removes that entity. So if you need a dog to protect your house, you have a garden or something, so you must have like a fence, so that your dog is not going to jump over the fence, or the fence is complete, so it runs around only in the garden. There is no problem, right? And nobody will come to your garden, right? So like you lock the gate completely, right? That would be allowed. But if it's in your house, and sometimes people will walk with the dogs, like scary dog, like half a me in size, right? And then the don't even have leash. They say no, he's friendly. How no, he's friendly, but now for whatever reason he does not like somebody and jump on that person. So that's absolutely forbidden, right? Or they say faulty ladder. So faulty ladder, like I mean, it's just an example, but it could be anything in your house, like I don't know, whatever, like maybe some electric wire is sticking out, right, and somewhere, right, or other things. So 1 second. So okay, so we put him under the ban until he removes the entity. So this ban is not to punish a person. So we have to understand it's only to correct him push him to the right direction. So as soon as he is if he fixes the issue, that's it. I mean, we have nothing against this fellow. Okay, so commentary. This concept is with two examples. This concept, two examples quoted from Bava Kama 15b. See, all over the Talmud. Okay, continue. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Okay, so then continue. A person who sells the land to Gentile and is placed under the ban until he accepts responsibility for the damages which Gentile may cause to the Jewish neighbor. Okay, so actually this neighbor of mine, the one, the bald one, so he sold his house actually to Gentile. I mean, so far they are friendly people, but hopefully it's going to stay this way. Understand? Okay. Number 112. But if they would cause any damage, any damage, let's say if somebody like I don't know, like when they live in like in a village or something, right? So they have gardens, they have trees around there, they have orchards and stuff like that. So if this neighbor does something to his garden or orchard, so yeah, the previous owner would have to compensate, of course, because he sold to this vicious Gentile. Of course, not all the Gentile vicious, but in olden days, in many countries, so the Jews were like a garbage. So what does it mean, garbage? In Poland, if you kill a dog or you kill a Jew, so unless he's very rich and connected with the small minority, so nobody even is going to open a case in the police. But police is not going to accept the report. And same not only in Poland, in Ukraine, the Belarus, all of these countries, right? So unfortunately, okay. So when you sell your property and now you have such a neighbor and he can do like a lot of damage, and basically you have almost no rights as a Jew. So of course, yeah, that's very dangerous. Continue. Commentary. Bava Kama 112a mentioned this point. Tosafos postulates that this restriction applies only to a Jew when a Jewish colleague is prepared to pay for the same amount as a Gentile. However, a Gentile offers more than a Jew, the owner is not obligated to sustain the loss. However, in Hilchot Sanhedrin 12:7, where the Rambam quotes this law, he does not make such a provision. Rambam. Furthermore, in several of his responsa, he forbids selling property that borders on a property of a fellow Jew and Gentile, even when substantial losses involved. Rav Kapach. So Rambam is very strict, right? So he said, so even if they offer you more money, right, it's better it's proper for you to sell it to a Jew, not to a non-Jew. But Tosafos say that if it's only when Gentile and Jew offer you the same amount of money. But if a Gentile offer you more, so we have to understand. I mean, it does not say what's the definition of more. So more like 1% more, or 5 or 10. What is more? Right? How significant this amount should be. Right. But anyway, Rambam does not accept it. Okay. So next one is I. So it says, so it was H, now I. A person who testifies against a Jewish colleague in a secular court, and causes the money which Torah law would not require him to pay, to be expropriated from him, and is placed on the ban until he repays that amount. Right. So one Jew, as discussed before, is not allowed to take another Jew to a court. So he's considered to be a moser. Moiser is like informer, basically. So he informed that this other Jew did such and such to me. So if it's a criminal action, so another Jew is a pedophile, he's a rapist, like, or he's selling drugs in your neighborhood, that's one thing, right? But if it's no, like, for the money issues, not allowed. For the divorce, the divorce is also money issue. You're not allowed to go to secular court. Absolutely not. So you have to go to the Jewish court. So and here is of course it's a monetary issue. So they went to a secular court, right? And the secular court said that you have to pay for. So what would be example? You have to pay for another. I don't know, some strange laws that the country would have, right? So the victim, right, would go to a Beis Din and file a complaint, and that second Jew would have to repay him. Okay, so continue. Number 113, commentary. The Baba Kama 113b and Hilchot Sanhedrin 26:7, the Rambam writes, whoever has his judgment by Gentile judges, okay, and courts is wicked and is considered as if he is cursed. The Torah of Moshe, right? The Torah of Moshe. So that's how we look at the people, right? Who when one Jew takes another Jew to non-Jewish court, that's what it is. He's a curse. He's a moser. He's an informer. So that's the worst. Of course, if there is like no other way, so you're allowed to go to a Jewish court, and they would call this person to a hearing. I think they would ask him, like, invite him 3 times. If he does not come, okay, so you have no choice. They're going to give you an official letter from the Beis Din that you're allowed to go to the non-Jewish court, because this guy does not want to comply, right? But in olden days, we would take him and give him lashes, this guy. So after a few lashes, he would comply. Everybody comply after lashes. Okay, so continue. If Gentile rules his society, and his fellow litigant is a strong-willed, and it is thus impossible to collect one's due from him according to Jewish law, he should call to Jewish court first. If he refuses to come, he should receive the court permission to preserve his property through the secular law. Okay, so I mean, as we said, if that person's refuses to come to Jewish court, you have a right to go to the non-Jewish court, but it must be like official letter from the rabbis. Don't assume things. He's not going to go anyway. If rabbis, he's a secular Jew, he does not. Okay, that's should not be on your mind. Your obligation to bring this case to a Beis Din and let them decide what to do. Okay, if they decide to give you letter as it is without trying to call him to the court, okay, it's their business. Okay. So next one is J. A butcher who is a Kohen and does not separate the priestly gifts and give them to another give them to another Kohen, right? And it's placed under the ban until he gives them. Okay, so let's see. There are many commentaries. So let's see. A butcher who is a Kohen, 14, but not Kohen, who slaughters his for his personal use, but not a Kohen. 1 second. I'm not sure what does it mean. Butcher who is a Kohen, it does not separate the priestly gifts, and says, but not a Kohen who slaughters for his personal use. Okay, no problem. And does not separate the priestly gifts. So HaShem gave some parts of the animal to Kohanim, right? So what is it? The foreleg, the jaw, and the maw. Maw is M-A-W, right? Which must be given to a Kohen from every animal slaughtered, right? So the foreleg is understandable. The jaw, it's mean not the jaw by itself, but with the tongue, right? That's very delicious. And more, I think it's like stomach, some parts of the stomach. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? Somebody wants to talk, or could you put yourself on mute if you're not going to talk, please? Okay, no problem. So all of this priestly gift. So we must give to coin. Right. One second. Okay. So continue. One. It was 1:15. Continue. Next one. So one more time the whole sentence. A butcher who is a Kohen and does not separate the priestly gift. So basically he's a Kohen and he wants to leave everything to himself. So if it would not be a Kohen, so he would give to other Kohanim. But since he's Kohen himself, he keeps everything, which is not right? And give them to another Kohen, right? And so he has to separate, give to another Kohen. He's placed and he does not do that. He's placed under the ban until he gives them. 1:16. Okay. So this from Hulin 132b. Continue. Next one is K. A person who violates the sanctity of the second day of the festival in diaspora, even though it's observed only by custom. Okay, so as we all know, in diaspora we observe 2 days, right? In Israel, except Rosh Hashanah, they observe only 1 day, right? So and second day is like we know for sure it's not a holiday, right? Because since we have a fixed calendar, so we know when 15th is, like we know exactly. But since it is a custom that our sages said that we must abide by, right? To keep 2 days. So that's why we keep 2 days. Do we know when the holidays? Yeah, the holiday is the first one, but we treat both holidays exactly the same. There is some minor difference, but 99% of the laws are the same. So commentaries say the Or Sameach explained that Rambam added this clause because he had already stated that a person who disgraces a rabbinic ordinance is liable to be banned. Okay. So, I mean, that's why he calls it custom, I guess. Hence, he clarified that at present, since we use fixed calendars, the observance of the second day of the festival is no longer considered a rabbinic decree. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, so it's not a rabbinic decree, but it's a custom. But for us, it's like we keep it anyway, right? Okay, but it says Seal Hilchos Shviat Yom Tov 6:14. Okay, next one. Next one is L. A person who performs work on Pesach Eve afternoon. Okay, so let's read and we explain. Pesach Eve is singled out because the Pesach sacrifice was offered at the time. See Pesachim 50b, Hilchot Shviat Yom Tov 8:17. So on Pesach, all of the adult male Jews had to go to the temple. I apologize for that. I take it back. At least a representative, I think, would have to go to representative of the group or all of the Jews. Maybe even all of the Jews would have to go to the temple and participate in a slaughtering. But before they go, they would have to sign up for a lamb, right? So it would be a group. I'm not sure if you have to only write it down, or somebody can memorize that this family, that family, combining into one seder. So the thing is, if family is big, yeah, they might finish the one lamb. right? But if a family is small, only like a mother and father and 3 young children, they're never going to finish it, never ever, right? It's too much meat. So that's why they can combine 2 families, 5 families, 10 families, right? Whatever they combine, right? And they would have to go to the temple and participate in a sacrifice. But sacrifice, like it's one of the miracles. If you read this Talmud Pesachim, so you would see the like, huge miracle. The whole nation would come, and they have only a few hours actually to do the sacrifices, because the earliest you can start like afternoon, like half an hour after 6.5 hours, so noon plus half an hour. So after that, and you have only like 5 hours or so, and until before the sunset. So you have to finish all of this all of these like procedures to clean the animal, this and that, and before the sundown. Okay, maybe you can cook later because you're allowed to cook on Yom Tov. There is no problem, but still, like so many millions of people do like in 5 hours all of the procedure. They have to sprinkle the blood from each lamb. It was unbelievable. Okay, so a person who is working at that time, like in the afternoon, he said, "No, I have time. I'm in a turned I'm like in a third group to go to sacrifice." So he's placed under the bed on eve of afternoon. Okay, so and it's proper actually, like from this halachah we learn. So it's proper to prepare like for holidays before. Don't work till the last moment. Of course, if you have a family, if you, for example, a man has a wife and she's taking care of everything, and she does not need him, right? She can so he, of course, he can come home maybe 1.5 hours like before, like for sure 1.5 hours. Take a shower, prepare, and if she did all of the preparation, there is no problem. But otherwise, if he must help, so sometimes people don't go to work at all on Erev Pesach because it's so hectic. So time flies very, very fast. You have to finish the cleaning, you have to do the burning of the homets, you have to do this and that. That's a lot of things to do. So if you come home afternoon, that's too late for many things. So next one is M. A person who takes God's name in vain and or takes an oath casually. So this is it's only reference. It's from Talmud Nedarim 7b, Hilchot Shavuos 12:9. So basically, the way I see it, so in Talmud Brachas they gave only the number 28, the 24, all categories, and they explained few of them, and Rambam was able, with his brilliance and B'siyata D'Shmaya, of course, was able to find the rest. That's just mind-blowing, right? Next one is M. No, we just did M. N. A person who causes many to desecrate God's name. So that's many people in that categories, right? God's name. So let's see what commentary says. This is derived from Yerushalayim Talmud, Moed Katan 3.1, which quotes how in a time of the drought, Honi Hamagel drew a circle on the ground and called out to God, "I will not move from here until you provide rain." So of course he's not like a brazen person. This Honi Hamagel, he's the holiest of the holy of that generation. Right, and he was trying to, like, he was desperate, and people was desperate. It was drought, and he drew a circle and said, "HaShem, I'm going to stay in this circle. I'm not going to move until you provide the rain." So it's like if you do not know who is talking, so you would say he's brazen. We should kill him or something, right? So Rabbi Shimon ben Shetach told Honi that his acts warranted ostracism, because if God had not answered his prayer, many of the people would have lost faith. So he's like putting God in a bad situation, basically, sort of thing. Nevertheless, Shimon ben Shetach did not enforce that punishment after he saw that God answers Honi's prayer. So he said, if it was not you, somebody else, we would put him under the ban. But you and HaShem answer you. You see, like we understand that you have special connection, and he was holy man. He was like selfless. That's for sure. Okay, next one. O. A person who causes a man to eat sacrificial food outside of the proper place. I'm not sure why, but based on the sanctity of the food, some foods you like only kohanim can eat. For example, truma, right? Our truma maser also, and second tithes. You're allowed to eat only in Jerusalem, right? While you're spiritually pure and stuff like that. So a person who causes other, maybe he did not tell them, or he did it like dafka to cause others to sin. So he's one of these people. 122. Brachas 19a, so it's also a Talmud, relates how the Todus of Rome instituted the custom of roasting lamb on Pesach Eve in a manner similar to Paschal sacrifice. So he was not a simple man. He was a great rabbi, and he used to live in Rome, right? And he said, no, on Pesach we're going to do this Pesach sacrifice in Rome, in Italy, right? I think it was in Italy, because the Rome Empire was like everywhere. So, but I think it was in Italy. The sages told him. So, I mean, in the city of Rome, the sages told him that were it not for his other personal virtues, he would have been placed under the ban. For it is possible that someone would actually consider this lamb a Pesach sacrifice. Right, so we're not. That's and our sages instituted Halachah, so we're not allowed to eat the roasted meat on a Pesach Seder. So you want to eat cooked meat, this meat, that meat, whatever you want, but not roasted, not barbecued. Why? Because it looks like very much as a Pesach sacrifice, and people might suspect, yeah, but now. That I can bring Pesach sacrifice, right? So all other days of the Pesach you can eat as much as you want, but not on these 2 first nights. 122. 1 second, let me check time. Okay, so let's do a few more. P. A person who calculates the years and declares the leap year or fixes day of a new month in diaspora. So commentary in Bracha 63a relates that Ishayahu in 2:3 it says, "Out of Zion will come the Torah." Implies that the above decision must made it in Eretz Israel. Zion is Eretz Israel, and some say it's Beis Hamikdash, and some say it's not. Sometimes it refers to Beis Hamikdash itself. Sometimes it refers to Yerushalayim. Sometimes it refers to the Temple Mount. Right, but for sure it is in Yerushalayim, right? But sometimes it's actually the whole Eretz Israel, and prescribes that this punishment for someone who makes them in diaspora. So in diaspora, many things that we cannot do, right? So only in Eretz Israel. Continue. A person, so he's trying to calculate the years. So for those who do not know, like in olden days, we would announce every beginning of the months separately. So it was announced by the Jewish court in Yerushalayim. The witnesses would come, they testify that we saw moon. They would say, how did you see moon? They say it was looked like this and like that, and this side on that side, like that side of the sky, this side, like low, high, whatever they would describe the moon. And based on the testimony of witnesses, the court, the Beis Din would declare the date. So this person declared to pronounce additional months in on his own, right, in the diaspora. That's that's the reason to be placed on ban. Next one is Q. A person who causes a blind, there is a morally unaware, to stumble. So let's see. So that's also a huge category. So commentaries say, not the commentary Vayikra, 1914, also Sefer Chachinuch, Mitzvah Tutorito. Okay, so it says morally unaware. Okay, so commentary. Moed Katan 17a relates that Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's maidservant issued ban of ostracism. Oh, here we go. She again, right? On a father who physically beat his son after the latter had reached adulthood. So, okay, sometimes you're allowed to discipline your children, but not when they grow up. That's completely forbidden. Where did we learn it? Maybe in Perky Owas we learned it. I don't remember exactly the source, right? Because why? Because if you're going to hit this child, so and he's like today teenagers, right? He's 2 times like bigger than you. He might be provoked and he hit you back, right? In this case, like he would be liable for the death penalty, right? Somebody who hits his parents, and even like they said, the Torah says, and the parents is wounded and bleeding, but bleeding does not mean like only like you have open wound and there is blood. Even the black and white, right? Black and blue. Black and blue. So like also the sages were like could have put this person to death. Of course, they had to warn him and stuff like that, but theoretically, right? So do not provoke your child, him or her. Girls today also very not like some of them, right? Very aggressive. Okay. So continue. R, a person who prevents many from performing a mitzvah. See Yerushalayim Talmud, Moed Katan, Hilchas Teshua. Right. So what would be the example today? I mean, a person, he's a rabbi, and he said, no, you just come to Hanukkah party. And they come to Hanukkah party, and he said they're all tzaddikim and nice to see you, and that's it. So in some sense, he prevented them from doing the mitzvah, because why should I do the mitzvah? Because when Rabbi just called me a tzaddik, like if I'm tzaddik, okay, so does he call everybody tzaddik? No, I'm a tzaddik, so I'm good. So in some sense, it's preventing person from doing the mitzvah. Next one, as a butcher who sold the non-kosher meat. And unfortunately, we had this in not so long ago. So like every few years, you find this person, like they pop up. These butchers who sell not kosher meat, unfortunately. So let's see the commentary. The case of Mishnah quotes Sanhedrin 25a as teaching that Rav Nachman administered such a punishment. However, in our text of the Talmud, the passage does not mention ostracism specifically. Okay, so it's very interesting. So, I mean, if this butcher is not a God-fearing person, so he can sell you all kind of meat, and you would not find out, you would not figure out that it's not kosher. You understand? So that's very, very dangerous. So whenever we buy meat, we have to buy from a reliable source, a reliable person. So when I buy, so we try to even it's a reliable person and everything. Everybody's reliable. You're reliable. I'm reliable. But we try to buy the sealed, So whatever he gets from the supplier, with all of the seals, with all of plastic, all of the this, all of that. So we said we're going to take the whole piece, like wholesale. It's cheaper, maybe a little cheap, not so much, but in this case, we know like there is no problem. There is no problem whatsoever. So the way he received, the way he only cuts for us, that's it. Okay. So just to be on a safe side. But if for example you come to a butcher store and it's something in a showcase, so how do you know it's kosher? I mean, you assume that that's what he received this morning. He cut in pieces and this is it. But okay, so it's better be on a safe side. Okay, so continue. T. A butcher who does not inspect his knife in the presence of the scholar. So it's a few things that the butcher must do, and inspect his knife in the presence of the scholar. So there are several laws about this knife. So it must be like very sharp, very sharp, right? And if it has like a little bumps, like that's it. So the whole shkita is out. It's garbage. So this cow, I'm not sure how much cow costs. I don't know, maybe $10,000, $5,000. I'm not sure. A lot of $1,000, right? So, and because of this tiny little thing, so the whole cow is garbage. No, not garbage. They're going to sell to non-Jews, maybe to Arabs, but these Arabs and these non-Jews, they know that you Mr. Jew have no choice, right? You cannot eat it, right? We can eat whatever they want, but you cannot eat it. So of course they drive down the prices, and Jew takes losses, of course. I mean, but that's what it is. So this knife is very critical. Like they check the knives like every time. Number 128. Sichul in 18a. In the Hilchot Shchita 126, the Rambam states that this halacha applies even if later the knife was inspected and found to be kosher. So he slaughtered, let's say he forgot to check, and he slaughtered 3 cows, and on the 4th cow, and after he slaughtered the 3rd cow, he realized that he did not check the knives on the first 2. He checked the knives. He said, Baruch Hashem, it's good. But still, we put it on the ban because it's so serious. So that's why it is impossible to know if the meat is actually kosher. So how will you know? Because of the little bump on this on this knife, how would you see? You don't even eat that part. You understand? So we will all go by them being God-fearing people, right? The case of Mishnah notes that the leniency is taken in this matter because it has become customary the ritual slaughter to perform only by experts, right? Meaning expert that. So why would he take this knife to a rabbi? Meaning to a rabbi because he's not an expert. Okay, but today they're all experts. Okay, so I guess. Okay, one more just to turn the page. A person who intentionally causes himself to have an erection. Okay, and it says, commentaries say, Nida 13b, for by doing so, he leads himself to immodest thoughts at very least, right? And of course, probable wasting seed. Hilchot Yisurei Bia 21:18. Okay, so we can stop here. So with that, they go finish the list. There are few more, 3 more, but Beezrat HaShem next time. I'm going to finish it. Okay, any questions on any topic? What we discussed, what we did not discuss? Go ahead, if you have any. Okay, so if not, so we stop here. So go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
There's one
On WhatsApp?
on the
Yes, please.
Which book is best to use to learn the basics of biblical Hebrew?
Of biblical Hebrew? Oh yeah, okay. That's a fantastic question. So in Art Scroll, So I can send, like, to save you time, guys. So I can send the book. So it's interlinear. It's like it's Hebrew and in English underneath. So you know exactly what it means. So and try to read parasha, and that's the best way. The best way, yes, for sure. Okay. Any other questions? Different topics. Okay. So we're very close to the end of the book. So I would consult with Rabbi Reuven Shlita what should we learn next. All other topics that I'm not sure. I mean, they're very interesting, but I'm not sure if we should learn them. So one of them, just give you an example. It's Hilchos of Avodah Zarah. So all of these laws concerning like idol worshiping and all of these things. It's very interesting, but maybe we're going to find like more practical for us topic. Beezrat HaShem. So if anybody have any suggestions, please. But otherwise, so you just send me like private text. Thank you very much, and good night then, if no questions. Good night.